Today, I want to buy Elden Ring, but first I need to hear an expert's opinion on it. I'm going to check on the #1 most highly trusted veteran video game critic.
Well.
So as you can see, he is clearly a highly intellectual individual, right there up with Stephen Hawking in terms of raw brain power. His opinions are very meticulously well articulated, that it's scientifically proven he would beat Dr. Phil in a debate. The way he formulates every adjective is truly dimension-shattering. Let's pry these hammies wide open and take a small dip into the video. We're taking a look at a classic YouTube channel, Michael Does Life, the satanic, disheveled, sunlight-deprived, unemployed basement dweller with some saggy, wrinkly, twizzled flaps. This decrepit Neanderthal looks like he's been stranded in isolation chambers and just crawled out of the Jumami jungle after hibernation while his face was being scraped with a cheese grater. Last time I checked on this decaying, rotten scarecrow that had a triple dog anal fusion dance with Michael Jackson was about a year ago. Way before I ever measured my wiener, I was still a milk-huffing, mindless fetus at the daycare. Which hasn't changed much considering I'm still the imbecile who thinks the sun is a hologram because I don't leave the house, and licks iPods thinking they look like BTS's balls that curls inside of your grassy knolls. And that's where Tom Brady comes in and gives you a taste of his devil toothpaste. Point is, I had an itch and I needed a fix, so what better way to go about solving my hemorrhoid infection but by tormenting myself through watching Trevor Phillips' sister unleashing a little war cry that will even make the most legendary Spartans piss the Lake of Nine in traumatizing fear. So rip my Punjabs and wax it with some Splatoon chabs. After watching this video, you'll be begging to start inhaling Filthy Phil's 3 chest hairs in a smoothie.
Over! How does it feel, CD Projekt Red fanboys, to be a part of the Losers Club? It must be so incredibly sad. You know, I tried telling you lunatics that the cracks were starting to show, but you didn't want to listen. Oh no, because you were too busy going
Introducing the main protagonist of this manga, he appears to be one of the reptilian androids sent by Mark Zuckerberg. If you're telling me a monkey didn't toss a coconut on this one nipple-twisting and weenus-pulling trifling troglodyte's head, I think at that point you have a block of cheese in the upper center of your cranium. Why does he look like Simba if he derived from the earliest prehistoric amphibians that got eaten and mauled by a hungry Sasquatch? His nose is shaped like an unsalted pretzel. This homunculus is definitely some hybrid from Papa Jupiter of the Hill People if he set up a medical IV of heroin straight into his blood vessels. I swear down, this bitch's crevice in between his teeth can be used as a makeshift Alcatraz facility because of how big his fucking gap is. The second thing that's making me wobble around the dance pad and shuffle 13 spinning traps in the concentration camps is how your juggle nuggles that rest below your eyelids look like the shell of a roly-poly. Those cervix stripes look like a whole ass diagram. You probably collect bedsheet stamps like it's a fucking Pokedex and over-the-counter hand job so you can craft half a polygon of a 10 because your job is being an unpaid intern as a McDonald's mascot. If you get hit by an ice cream van, I'm hosting my wife's marriage at your cemetery so we can all urinate over it in celebration and cheers. I still can't get over those trolley cylinders that look like you were trying to conceal it with raw Miracle Whip. You look like a pre-rendered CGI freak from Mario Kart 64 on PS1. Dude's face is so wrinkly that if you told me a sped kid with Parkinson's syndrome tried sculpting the human anatomy with his left hand from spruce wood and will end up becoming a full-fledged clone, I would buy the story without a shadow of a doubt. I feel like when this man gets aroused, he grows an 8th spider sense, because he's got an entire Jew cross in his skull after falling in a trap from Jigsaw. Now let's take a glance at his famous shrieking noise he likes to let out, so knit your socks and hold your cocks, because this is going to be a real doozy. The vibrational frequency of this man's voice will shed a tear in your eyelid and a wet spot in your undies. His gills are able to rupture your eardrums with the most soothing, angelic sound that it will even make onions cry. Just listen to this dude's beautiful album.
Class is in session. Capcom is going to have to show it off sooner rather than later.
So upon initially hearing Aerie from Planet of the Apes letting out a mesmerizing screech that made my furniture tumble diagonally all the way to the moon, I'm pretty sure my neighbors thought of two things. One, there is a poor tree out there that's tirelessly producing oxygen for this crusty, musty, scally, disfigured invertebrate, and must have cremated his face with sriracha sauce so he can hide all the lizard scales dripping across the side of his cheeks. Or two, he let out a supernova from his shriveled dick that's smaller than the ley lines off Google Maps. If laughter was the cure for cancer, looking at your deplorable face would cure our Virgo supercluster in its entirety. If I ever met this Resident Evil mod, I would projectile vomit my liver from both holes in pure laughter. I'm just curious, did you use gluten-free Gorilla Glue or tape to stitch your pubes on the ridges of your colon? Cause you ain't fooling anyone with that disguise. I can see the incy-wincy bitsy or 7 remaining hair speckles helplessly trying to escape. I might not have a keen eye, but it doesn't take a Harvard professor to conclude you slapped the force that was on your lemons to get a free wig without going to Party City and getting called Mr. Clean, even though he washes the roots of his sulfur-crusted, shit-creaked house with anal beads infested with some camel fleas.
Who's on the screen? You're dead. Miyazaki hit that home run. From Software have really hit that home. Shut the fuck up.
This is pretty much the average Florida citizen in a nutshell. At some point in this creature's lifespan, I can promise you he threw an alligator at a Walmart employee because he got his crayons for 48 pennies instead of 10 quid. He most definitely made a whole song and dance about getting a participation trophy in the Olympic walking contest, and I'm quite certain he got a plastic surgery performed on him by the mariachi band in Attaway General, dipping their eyeballs in a sea of bath salt.
I'm a 40-year-old virgin in my parents' basement. Oh my god.
That's definitely the truest thing you've ever said in your entire life of existing on our corporeal dimension. If you dare have the audacity to be a poopy head to this mentally deranged lunatic, Mr. Rogers won't be so pleased with your horrible actions. Michael will swan dive at you and mutilate your entire family bloodline. You really should have at the very least a warning label so you can be armed with the entire MI6 as a precaution so he doesn't lunge at you and eat you alive. Where are the Lombo hunters at so they can shield us from the Blair Witch's husband?
Less about quality? Oh no, because you're too busy going
This gremlin sure loves barking like a dog. Maybe if I throw a stick at it, he'll leave. Well, it was worth a shot.
Zero gameplay footage of Dying Light 2 running on any consoles as of this recording, and the game practically comes out in just 1 month. Zero gameplay footage of Dying Light 2 running on any consoles. Zero gameplay footage of Dying Light 2 running on any consoles. Zero gameplay footage of Dying Light 2 running on any consoles. If that isn't a red flag, then I don't know what is. Folks, this is quite clearly the next cyberpunk they want you to, but quite clearly Techland is reluctant to pull that curtain back in a way that makes sense. Shut it down. It's over. But you don't care. You never have, and believe me, you never will. And that's because you were too busy going
Such true wisdom. It's as if Gandalf himself is giving out a philosophical poetry. Michael's the real hero here with the golden heart, second next to EDP's. He's a wise old monk who lives as a hermit in the Himalayas. That's sarcasm, by the way, for you nerd detergent whatever the fuck, I give up. Back to grilling Crazy Dave's child with skin deformities. I bet you use 5-minute craft lessons to put it in your resume so you can find a job as a toilet manager in Wendy's. Your two gazers look like the analog sticks off an Xbox 360 controller. When you try and impress girls, you start doing deadlifts with fake pillows you smudged in soya shit so you can disguise the fact that it's fake weights. Is your name Fart cause you blew me away with your retardation? You're so stupid that if I put a ladder on it, I would never reach the top. I would try and parry from any place you locked your face on because the one virus more dangerous than rabies, it's this congested shit stain. I went to my therapist telling him about this man, and now my therapist needs a therapist for himself and gets sent to a psych ward. Imagine sitting alone in the house and you hear a siren go off, and when you open your curtains, you get
You never will.
I wouldn't be surprised if this fucker came out of an Egyptian sarcophagus because this mummified atrocity that screams Adam Sandler signals is more disheveled and tyrannical than Sandy Cheeks on her gibbish face. Your face got run over by a John Deere lawnmower and your crustaceous porcupine got fried with a leaf blower. If Amy Schumer ever needs an easy punchline to steal, I'm happy to be of service. She can say the word Michael and she'll get the entire football team rattling and giggling their buckles off. Everyone will slap their knees and spank their knees from mentioning one of Satan's names.
Is owning a PlayStation 5 in 2022 that damn amazing?
Not really.
Because I would argue it's not. But quite clearly quality isn't your concern. I mean, after all, you guys are hyping up Snooze of War Ragnarok. How are you hyping up a game that doesn't have a concrete release date? How are you hyping up a game that is a cross-gen title, meaning the devs have to ensure parity, not going to utilize the full memory bandwidth of the PlayStation 5?
If you want to have a free stove with your PlayStation, then I guess you can do that.
And last but certainly not least, this isn't being done by the A-Team. Cory Barlog isn't even on the damn game. And it's so incredibly sad. Believe me, it's the saddest that it's ever been. But you don't care. You never have. And believe
Get ready,
me,
it's coming.
you never will. And that's because you were too busy going...
Well damn, guess I'm gonna have to take back everything good I've said about God of War Ragnarok. He absolutely nailed me. Bulletproof. I mean, he just completely annihilated me. There's no counter-argument to this. I'm starting to understand why God created the middle finger. If I ever gouged down a bowl of alphabet off a Baby Shark magazine, I would still be able to shit out proper words that have some semblance of sense behind it. Some of you might be wondering why I'm swinging some ass-wiping and anus-splitting burns that would make the sun run cold. Obviously, it's all just an act. All he does is yell at everything that moves. But here's the thing. I'm not insulting him, I'm describing him. Now to sprinkle my cooter and spread them wide open with a scooter, I got no issues with the guy. Sure, his senile muskin scraged flaky skin is so dry it looks like it came out of the outer skirts of Prince Philip's ballsack. Like holy shit, his face must have been leathered with a Wolverine fork. Or maybe he stuffed 4 spoons of cinnamon in every pore in his born horn. If in some mirror world he ever got laid, he would call himself Captain Smasher. Okay, back on track cause I fully leaped off the damn track just there. I don't care what specific YouTuber you like, you can watch whoever you want, and it's all preference for everyone, and that's perfectly fine. But personally, I just don't find a goblin hissing at every indie game that shows up to be, well, funny to me. It's not my cup of piss. However, you can't necessarily watch anybody. It might seem a bit contradictory because I just said that you're allowed to jerk off to whatever YouTuber you please, and in this instance it might cause you to raise a few eyebrows and scratch the beer on your blustering flesh weasel, because sometimes you end up losing that sense of support and you don't deserve it. Which brings me to the meat and grease of this lore where Michael faked a giveaway by scamming his fans.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Which honestly should have been the first red flag, because we all know this bitch has erectile dysfunction and the only green shit he's ever laid his hands on is cannabis. This dude waits second in line for every iPhone that comes out and bribes the alcoholic weeboo in front of him by offering a hardcore bang session by wrapping his peck around the hobo's muscle pound shit wrecker. He goes, I made a gay parody for a sparkling fairy on top of a sperm-loaded caterpillar for Katy Perry. My full-time job is a lifeguard. I want some cheddar, please.
It's over! How does it feel, CD Projekt Red fanboys, to be a part of the Losers Club? It must be so incredibly sad. You know, I tried telling you lunatics that the cracks were starting to show, but you didn't want to listen. Oh no, because you were too busy going... The only thing that's your concern is graphics, style, presentation, Keanu Reeves and Billie Eilish. I'm a bad guy. Ugh.
Holy moly, my guy, you need some Palanol. You're fuming so hard that you're making Killer Frost's boobies melt. I can practically see the steam and smoke leaking out your sebaceous glands. I'm pretty sure you popped a few veins or two. You're redder than the surface of the sun's core. If Freddy Krueger was getting toasted on the Hot Wings show, you would definitely look like that. You're either sitting on a spikeweed as we speak, or you sniffed a bag of Takis. I'm half expecting him to shoot a flame blaze like a dragon from his mouth. If society digged up Atlantis and the remaining simpletons lurking down there migrated into land peasants, I'm pretty sure this pinworm would be the result. Your face got Hyperion slammed on a waffle iron. If someone told you Fortnite is better than PUBG, you would claim they're inflatable poo jabbers with a hermit crab. From the looks of it, it seems like you got 2 of them pinching your nipples as you're recording. Man went inside of a distortion filter to get a tan from Kylo Ren. He's got the boulder dread stitched to his face, even though this dickwad is built like a fucking wood plank. This detangled mixed orgy fest of putrid raiment is being held together by a mint-flavored gum you grabbed from the front sewage cap off a gas station. Just everything about this man's gene pool is fucked up. He definitely chugs a well-made tequila sunrise on the rocks layered with a propane of vinegar and a touch of nail clippings on the side. Pretty much the entire Krabby Patty's secret formula to duplicating this fecal matter in particular. I'm not just gonna spend the remainder of the video clobbering a bunch of words together. This video has some merit to it, even though that's exactly what I've been doing. However, the major pawn in this entire whimsical BuzzFeed board is the scamming and how he ended up responding to it, and we'll get into that. What really made me want to talk about this is the fact that I was never aware that he did any of this, until someone slipped their fangs and started Fortnite twerking their semen scepters and dumping out a heavy, mean, sweaty shit turkey from the walls of the stranger's coochie straight into the comment button on the keyboard. Back in the day, I just thought Michael was the laughingstock who would clickbait and always making sure the camera is pointed directly into his mouth so it can capture every puddle of his saliva in 4K whenever he roars, so he can apply as a member of the Sentinel Elite tribe, only for them to start carving out their first jack-o'-lanterns on your devilishly handsome face, even though you did the work for them free of fucking charge. It's kind of sad how easily selfishness can blind people into this deluded self-entitlement. Best part about this entire trilogy is he banned anyone who had an opposing view and exposed him.
If you guys cannot handle it, we will time out. Okay, I will start banning. Okay, I've already said what needed to be said about the entire situation. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Period. End of story. Okay? It's as simple as that. If you cannot follow that command, that rule, then we will ban you. Okay? I said what I needed to say about the situation. That is the end of the conversation. Period. End of story. If you cannot follow that, you're banned. It's as simple as that, and I'm asking every mod to take it out. Okay? Take out the trash. I've said everything that needed to be said. I said what people need to do. That's the reality of the situation. Thank you so kindly.
After he got bombarded by a legion of assassins who had their flamethrowers plucked into his drizzled beef gap, snapped his ribs, and tickled his belly button with a peacock feather, he mustered out a string of letters that have nothing to do with sorry for milking your walls dry so I can pay the loan I pulled on my dirt shack that resembles a placenta you would see come out of an incubator. So let's take a look at this phenomenal apology and use our Sherlock deduction skills to see if it's Oscar worthy.
Has been derailed, okay? As of late, the train has been derailed.
Your face got derailed.
As of late, despite going in with best intentions, the football has been fumbled.
Oh yeah guys, by the way, he went in with best intentions by trying to silence anyone who spoke out against him. I mean, truly, he really had no evil ulterior motive.
Those are things that have quite clearly transpired as of late, and I sincerely apologize for that. Okay, I apologize for fumbling the football.
God really fumbled when creating you, huh?
I apologize for letting things get so out of control and really so out of hand as of late. And it's unfortunate that it turned out the way that it did. But I do apologize, and we fucked up.
Yeah, everyone, I apologize for not confessing the truth sooner. I am indeed a shape-shifting reptile hopped up on a freshly baked batch of crystal cocaine juiced straight from Purist Hilton's pillow flappers. I don't know what kind of Trojan you have in your head for it to remove every fiber's band that holds whatever ounce of sanity you have left. Then again, if I were to invade your empty cocoon, I'll find a halo pit of nothing and cobwebs in your circuits with tumbleweeds having a cross-country in the barren wasteland that's known as your brain. What I seem to notice is he always appears like he's holding a woolly mammoth inside of his asshole. You can't tell me this is the face you make when you're going into labor. This bitch goes into the Mariana Trench to give birth to a buffalo. Every time he spreads his beef Gerbers in half, he struggles to unload the 17 smoshed humpback whales clogged in his bumhole. He somehow looks like a deformed version of Chewbacca if he had body dysmorphia and made out with Logan. Whenever he tries to push some Shungai rocks into the hallway of his shack pumpkins, it probably sounds like you curb stopped a tapeworm into a bowl of dish soap. Why does your moldy ass dust wiper is looking like you smothered urn ash on your fungus-infested shit Twizzler? If someone attempted a Power Rangers Ultra Double Hadouken and did a head-on collision fuse with Dennis Wilson, this homeless stinker would be the first thing to sprawl into a highway, where most accidents occur. Are your neo-pronouns Count Chocula?
Cross-species detected.
More like cross-feces degenerate. So what did we learn today, kids? Well, never trust a reptilian youth pastor who spews out hieroglyphics and smells so revolting he makes a landfill look like the first 3 steps at the White House. The universe is infinitely expanding, and that's because it's trying to run away from this mutinized Mucinex germ. So instead of goofing around, I'll give you the cliff notes to this entire cockpit. So the way this May pyramid scheme works is basically by shaving half your kidney to keep throwing your entire life savings and hope the world throws you a miracle. Apparently it was a giveaway, as Michael would like to have you believe, but the only way to actually join the scam is by donating, which practically outlines how shady this is. Alongside him was Dan Allen, who recently got exposed on Twitter for leaking inside information, and he was really the puppet master behind it all. And the whole ordeal was more rigged than the US general election because it's just gambling. Someone even swiped their trousers off and confronted Michael head-on, raw, no rubber, about how this is illegal.
Actually winning the raffle here. That's what this is. This is a raffle. Dan Allen has done the giveaway. However, we're transitioning it into a raffle and having fun with it.
Hi, Michael. I have a question. Is the only way to enter the giveaway by donating?
It is a raffle, yes.
Clee9 donated $1
is
through
that legal?
Super Chat.
If you're running the gambling.
We don't want your opinions on the show, okay? We don't want your opinions on the show.
Who slapped my titty in New York City? What a counter move that was. Dude was asking a fair and reasonable question and this motherfucker's forehead started boiling like a pig rolling over a wood fire at a redneck's backyard barbecue. All because of a 10-second TED Talk session which was enough to give you a migraine and started having a fucking midlife crisis. First he was talking like a Wendigo Mystic Sparkle Protector, only to immediately backpedal so he can go on a Winter Soldier Tyrant. Men normally don't have periods, but this Windex guzzling heap of warm puke has it as his default setting somehow.
I think you're going to love it, okay? And someone is going to go away with all of it, okay? One lucky winner. And again, as soon as we get the green light to pull the curtain back on the prizes, we will very much so do so.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and you know, we'll try and get people down, but I can't make any promises when we're rolling the video. Here we go. This is what you could potentially win. You could win it all right here. Foxhound is the winner. Is what it is. I mean, I don't know who just came through within the last minute or so, but I mean, shit. Holy shit. Alrighty, well, unfortunately, you know, whoever came through during that video, you might have got left in the dark there because, let me close the lines. So, Foxhound is the winner, and we will see you guys soon. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. Foxhound is the winner. If you're going to bring up refunds, we're going to ban you, okay? There's no refunds over here, folks. Get those prizes to you. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show, and that's going to do it.
Okay, put a cork in your mouth and go fuck yourself 12 times sideways on a balance beam, you inbred muskrat. You don't just get to go, oopsie daisy, the choo-choo train is taking me to Gwen Stacy. Men started having a temper tantrum like an 8-year-old who didn't get their Christmas V-Bucks from Santa. Simply because someone did the terrible deed, the heinous act of exposing you. And you didn't even end up giving the prize to the winner, so you have no right to even get ticked off at all. And it doesn't seem like you're running out of detractors anytime soon either. Dude's trying to compete with the 2019 YouTube Rewind. You know, it's like the old saying goes, well, the one I just made up. No matter how many glasses you wear, you won't grow a fourth brain. And that applies perfectly for this volatile doofus that looks like a 2K20 character if his customizations was set to random by a transgender vor addict that licks toilet seats to practice their Tekken yoga fantasies. Motherfucker looks like Captain Squawk off a Xanax bar. This fine piece of work probably hydrates his soul by colonizing his gender-graded ass into a megalol so he can go scavenge hunting for Doja Cat nudes. So yeah, I know this is a bit overdue. I decided to stretch my 12-inch Punisher on this depraved, mentally unhinged octogenarian because someone had to dunk their semen demon on this guy, so I'm here to take one for the team. Make sure to slap the like button before your grandpa pulls the belt and spanks you, and yeah, I'll see you next year.